I'm David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and funny one. Today's post, why writing well is the best revenge, even if you aren't trying to get even. A long time ago, I realized that the stuff that I wrote that I thought was great really isn't, and that some of the stuff that I thought was meh would catch fire with readers. Like the time I worked at the Independence Examiner near Kansas City as a county government reporter. Every day I would cover stories about roads and bridges and other services that I thought were important to everyday people, and based on reader reaction, every day no one would read my stories. Then one day I wrote an assigned feature about a woman who made teddy bears with jointed arms that moved, and my phone rang off the hook for days. It wasn't just an average, it was just an average story, but people loved it. My 3-part series about the deadly crumbling bridges in Jackson County that readers used every day and that could end up taking their lives, not so much. I relearned that lesson last month when I wrote a humor piece about the death of my 20-year-old Vitamix blender. It got way more reaction than many of my political humor pieces. In fact, one reader who followed the link from LinkedIn suggested I send the post to the Vitamix company. He said he had written to the company when he had self-inflicted trouble with his blender and they repaired it for him. Since my blender was long gone, I had no such aspirations. It had blended its last and been replaced with a less expensive model. Still, I thought the story of how much I loved their product might amuse them. And apparently it did. A few days later, I got an email from the company offering to replace my beloved blender with an even better one. How could I say no? I could. So I said thank you instead. I was so excited to have it that I set it up and made a blended iced coffee beverage this past Saturday. I guess sometimes it just pays to write a company or a person who is doing something you like to let them know it. I admit that's not always easy. I'm busy. I've got a lot of stuff to do every day, and I really appreciate the things in my life that just work without requiring a lot of attention. Like most people, I'm quicker to write a letter of complaint when I'm unhappy with poor service than I am when I'm happy with stellar customer care. In fact, most companies will tell you that letters of complaint easily outnumber customer testimonials by more than 2 to 1, maybe even 3 to 1. And people love hearing when they've done something right, especially these days when complaining Karens seem to be coming out of the woodwork. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll get something in return, although the last time I wrote such an effusive letter to a company, I ended up with a job there. Of course, the letter just got me in the door. I still had to survive multiple rounds of interviews, and I still feel the same way about the company. I won't name it here, but I still believe it makes superior products and offers amazing service to its customers. So the lesson of all this is, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it was yours. If it doesn't, hunt it down and, no, different thing. Wait, that's not right. I think that's another lesson for another day. Look, I'm no Paul Harvey or John Tesh, and I'm not all that big on providing morals to my stories, but if there is one at all, I would say it's that it's good to say please and thank you. It's always nice to be at least as quick to praise as to criticize, if not quicker. And it's important to acknowledge good service when you get it. You never know who might be listening. I've been David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and grateful one.